Continuing our mini conversation between Alice Perle, that's me, author of Resolve, and intimacy coach Alexandra Shield. We're speaking about intimacy after trauma, child sexual abuse, and sibling sexual abuse from lived experience for those who feel ready to listen in. I called the section in Resolve Forget the Old Programs of Pleasure, as in I wanted to just totally forget what I was unhappy about with myself. It was like I didn't want to judge myself. I wanted to be open to explore what was possible. And reclaiming pleasure was part of that, because I think we doubt ourselves so much that, are we broken? Is there something about us that makes us not be able to feel what we would love to feel or have never maybe felt? So it was a really vulnerable practice, but the space that I found that was in my own home, I got to practice all the little practices. It didn't have to be sexual. It could be non-sexual, what I was practicing. But there was beautiful journaling prompts and dancing. I remember there was like Shakti dancing and then dancing with your hips. And I remember it was actually even shifting some of the guilt that I had brought forward from my childhood. I remember having this picture that my grandmother used to say, your grandfather could see everything you do from heaven, you know that. And I remember thinking that when she said that even when I was going through the abuse, I was so ashamed that he was seeing that. And then later, I actually carried that into my adult experience, that I had this random picture would flash in my mind at the wrong time. Oh, that's where he is, he's watching. And I remember this was an extension of what Alexandra gave me as an exercise, but I remember stopping the music when I was doing the hip moving dancing, and I came out and wrote a letter in my journal to tell guilt to fuck off. And I wrote all the way through everything I could think of. I tore the piece of paper out of the book. I took it out the backyard and I burnt it. And I felt free, and guilt actually left. I had no feeling of guilt after that moment, but I wouldn't have known that unless I'd ventured forth to see, what does reclaiming pleasure even mean?
I love that so much. Beautiful. And yes, and we often don't know that we are storing guilt or shame in our body unless we allow ourselves to move, unless we allow ourselves to receive touch from our own hands. And trauma is stored in the body. And this is why it's so powerful to shake, to move, to dance, and to just reclaim our right to feel really good in our own bodies. Because healing trauma and healing sexual abuse or sibling sexual abuse or sexual assault is not just about taking back what we thought was taken away from us, because really it felt like something was taken away from us, but it wasn't. No one can take your erotic innocence away from you. No one can take your voice away from you. No one can take the purity of your heart away from you. So healing is about remembering all those things that was never taken, but it felt like they were taken in the moment. So dancing, reclaiming pleasure, allowing ourselves to feel good in our own body, to receive pleasure from not just touch and in the bedroom, but feeling the sun against our face, eating something and truly enjoying it, listening to music or the birds sing, and anything that allow our senses to be stimulated and us to receive pleasure. And I think this is so powerful when we do, because then we can realize all the things we've been holding on to that doesn't serve us any longer and release them.
Oh, so beautiful. On that note, we will close and come back to continue with the next part.